Game number 1 is on the way. Sorry guys, we have to milk a little bit here, but it looks like we are ready and we're going to be coming to the street. It's King of the Hill, more like King of the Power Weapons here on streets because there's so many of them. Stalker Rifle, Rockets, Bulldog. Don't forget about the Bandit Rifle, Sentinel Beam. I'm excited here, and also that Shroud should be coming into play, especially to play for power weapons like the Rockets and like you see right there.
That's a perfect Shroud screen, but Bound says, hey, let me get to you. Not able to get the kill before his life is taken, but it is going to buy his team time to try to get back to those Rockets. Bubu Dubu, though, he has plans of his own. A double kill for him as he gets closer and closer to this hill. G1 find the break, and they're going to get this opening time. And Bound's lurking underneath. Bound's waiting. Bound hits him. Here we go. Bound's looking for the break, but Bubu Dubu, oh my God, making himself such a hard kill.
Beautifully played by Bound onto his former teammate in Bubu Dubu. Falcated will pick up that Sentinel Beam, and looks like he's trying to find an angle. The missed shots is going to force him to back down and also let the entire Space Station team know exactly where he's coming from, but patient as possible. Waiting for his teammate to come off the spawn, and now Gamers First having an opportunity to truly break the setup.
Ooh. Great shots by Foul with that Sentinel Beam. This thing is so dangerous, and we've seen Foul take a liking to it plenty of times already. StelluR's last alive, and StelluR, he got a little bit too ahead of himself. He's trying to say, hey, maybe I can cheat out a little bit of timing while I wait for my teammates to come off spawn. He saw Foul with that Sentinel Beam and immediately took back.
Trying to outplay play Gamers First with that bubble, was able to buy a little bit of time with his life, but eventually Pznguin does end up going down. Bound seemingly getting back smacked over towards the stair side out of nowhere. Now Pznguin back off his spawn and right back into the face of Svspector, not suspecting him of having the Bulldog. Pznguin going down once again. So does half the members of Space Station Gaming. Gamers First dominating and taking control. SSG off a spawn.
Able to get those cross map shots down. G1 getting closer and closer to finishing this one. Space Station, they're going to decide to push, but this could be dangerous, right? Because they're giving up access to the spawn. They get there, but it's just not fast enough. They are able to get the opening kill, so great position for this next round of slays as Rockets look to be in SSG's favor. I mean, they get them 4 down. This is perfect position for SSG. They get the Rockets away. Everything's going right. They don't get this hill, it would be disastrous after that 4 down.
It was a high risk, high reward to play for the Slays right there to put G1 forward down and get the Rockets and get control onto the subway side, but it pays off, and now everything working in favor of SSG. G1 are pretty close to sacrificing this hill for the second hill, and it feels like it literally just started here. You might have 1 or 2 more good pushes here for G1. They're trying to put the double over toward the purple side. Bound gets the double kill, and just like that, G1 are going to sacrifice this hill, and that was a quick bounce back and recovery coming out of SSG.
Yeah, I love how G1 was like, I don't think it's worth it. We're just gonna play for next. And they do have the better position for the next, but it's coming at some heavy losses. You see Pznguin and StelluR already battling into back of A. They're gonna try to flip out the PD spawns. That's top priority as Kevin Eco Smith looks for some more, and he just can't find the player. There we go. He gets his first, and the next 2 are awaiting. That disruptor pistol so effective at getting that damage over time. Bound comes in for the cleanups, and Sabs left by his lonesome at back B. It's a quick break from Space Station. So G1 allocating all those resources to play for next, right, Tony? But then they don't have any substantial time to account for it.
With these rocket launcher coming up, this next slay is so important. And as I say that, Gamers First do end up going 3 down. They will have time to come off the spawn and get a line of sight on those rockets, but doesn't mean they're gonna get the kills they need. Eco goes down, but so does Sad. So another 3v3. Bound flying right into the subway side. Excellent shots onto Falcated, follows it up with the melee and buys it a time for Pznguin to get these rockets around the corner. Well played by SSG. They're already about 80% done with this hill, and Pznguin here with the Rockets. Gamers First still having to fight over towards the B side. Finally they clear out 1, but it's not going to be enough. I think SSG are going to take this hill.
Now look, dude, Bound has been an absolute monster. He's finally taken down 15 and 8 to start this game. He is just outpacing everyone thus far, but look at Eco all the way here, trying to put pressure onto these spawns. Fortunately, he goes down, and what was looking like a safe hill for Space Station is suddenly starting to get away from them, right? You see how far they have to push back out just to get back together. If G1 can win another couple rounds of slays, suddenly they're going to be able to steal this hill.
And Bound is way on the opposite side of the wall. Wasn't aware that Bubu Dubu was hiding that corner, so Bubu Dubu is able to take him down. Eco does follow up with the cleanup, but G1 are literally moments away from taking the hill, and it looks like Cloud9 are going to clear them out right before it happens. Not able to steal it themselves, so one ends up going down. Make that 2 for each of these teams. G1 find the hill, and it looks like it stopped right in the nick of time. Garrett, what is happening?
Oh, they're going to be able to get it. G1 get in just in time, and G1 get the steal, but it was pretty mixy at the end. Looks like Spacestation have won the fight for the next hill rotation, but the PD spawns are what's important here, right, Tony? What spawn can you get that fills in the hill the fastest? That would be the PD side. You don't want to be fighting from bottom position into narrow walkways when you're trying to fight for this hill.
My eyes on the scoreboard are really gravitating towards Sav and Bound, the leading slayers for each of their respective teams. You know, Sav right now 17 kills, Bound right behind them with 16, really being the main damage dealers and the players responsible for opening up the map. As Sav puts another one on the board and a very important one onto Bound. Literally the entry frag player. Sav takes him down, takes down yet a second one. Spacestation Gaming goes 3 down, and Gamers First take control of this hill once again. They already stole that A side hill. If they could win it here, they might be able to afford themselves to play just time and just play Slayer over towards the mid hill.
You know, Spacestation's not going to let this one go for free, though. Eco's going to take the charge. He goes in, not letting any player get away. But Bubu Dubu gets the help of Svspector just in time, and G1 have the immediate ability to refill, but StelluR with that Bulldog might make it tough. Bubu Dubu has been a critical player in this piece, so staying back, waiting for damage to come down, and finding cleanup after cleanup for his team. Making it so tough for Spacestation just to get time on the board. Although they've been here fighting for this hill all the time, they haven't really been able to run away much time. Eco almost gets the triple, but not quite able to find the finish. And oh my God, Sav didn't care that he was one shot. He came right back out for more.
G1 were just, you know, stacked up, waiting on the benches, waiting for the train to come in, and out comes Eco just running them over. Almost able to get that triple kill. SSG take control over toward the purple side. It looks like Bubu Dubu starting to move in position onto the back A. Wants to find one easy kill, and instead is going to put the Shroud down. That's going to provide some temporary cover as Bound gets hunted down onto the tower side. G1 trying to recover their shields. If they can get these numbers, they can slay SSG out before they steal it and tie it up. The Shroud is down. It looks like they want to get up close and personal right in the nick of time before SSG steal it, but SSG answer right back with back-to-back kills, and it looks like they are going to tie it up going into this mid-hill.
That's phenomenal from Spacestation to deal with that pressure of G1. You saw so many players from the red side mounting, getting ready to try to challenge for that hill, but Spacestation never got ahead of themselves, right? They played a strong defensive game towards that hill, said, hey, if you're gonna come through us, you're gonna have to take a number to do so, right? You're gonna have to take a trade, and once we get even numbers, once we get numbers advantage, that's when we're gonna win that fight. And Spacestation just constantly kept the refill coming, and although G1 had a lot of pressure towards that hill, there was no time to be found. And now going into this next hill, Bound's going to be the important player, right? You want to keep those spawns at back, so you always have access, a straight line of sight into this hill to make sure no one can get free time.
Ladies and gentlemen, get yourself some snacks, get yourself some popcorn. This is going to be a long one. This bottom mid hill on Streets is the hardest hill to capture in the game. We're in for a long one, but like you said, that bottom C side going to be so important, and Bound finds himself onto the A side of the map. Gamers First not only controlling the C side of the map, but also in the hill, and also shrouding out, blocking those line of sight from anyone from SSG to get some easy damage on him. Well played with this setup coming out of G1.
Dubu trying to work with his teammate to make sure that their side, their C spawns are safe, and having to back down to do so. He is able to get that. Now using that shroud screen for some free time. And right now, it's not necessarily important to rack up as much time as possible. What's more important is to make sure that the spawns and that the kills are remaining in your favor. So it's okay to get in, get out, make sure you're getting kills. As long as you're able to dictate the pacing of the game, dictate where the spawns are coming from, and just be a step ahead, you will eventually get this hill. But it's basically a mosh pit down at bottom mid.
Love the flanking bound play to take down one, but not able to find the second one. StelluR and bound both going down, and like you said, gamers first holding on to the most important spawn on the map. Pznguin tries to make a play, almost able to do so, but Svspector still has that bulldog, and it's going to be very hard to catch him off guard. Maybe the rockets might be able to open things up just a little bit, but SSG don't have that enhanced just yet.
Spectre out of that red gun ammo, says, hey, I gotta get something done. Goes up with his shotgun, but it's a rocket that awaits them, and that's where it gets dangerous from G1. They're 3 down. Sab is working his best. He did get the back C spawns for Falcated, and now this makes it a little bit tougher for Spacestation, right? It's hard to stay on that hill while you have players that can immediately refill, but they're doing a great job at it thus far, and it's because of Bound immediately getting into the face of these players at G1 and getting kill after kill, and he has just been unstoppable thus far. It really has been Bound versus Sab this entire time. 27 for Spacestation side, but Sab with 30 kills of his own, trying to keep G1 in this fight.
And with less than a minute left, I think SSG are in an interesting position. Like, they can play outside the hill for a bit before they close it out and try to drain the clock down. Maybe if they do that, they take this middle hill and they leave Gamers First no time to try to play over toward the B side. Gamers First have to decide, like, do you sacrifice this hill? Do you play for it? Like, what's your play here? Because in 33 seconds, you're going to be out of options. Is this do or die?
Options are stacking up. Spectre was able to get 2, and now suddenly Pznguin in a tough position. He's gonna have to play slow and wait for his teammates to come up, but this is gonna be the most free time G1's gonna get in a while. And let's see Spacestation trying to find the way to fight through, but they don't have any weapons, but they don't care. They're able to find that first pick. How does Spacestation constantly get away with getting these picks when they don't have the position on the map, when they don't have the weapons? They're able to get the kill, and now trying to get at some hill time. Spectre knows how important he is to these spawns, but he hasn't really made much of an impact, Tony. We haven't seen Spectre get kills with that stalker rifle.
He's putting down damage, but can't quite find that kill. Hopefully his teammates will be able to clean up some of these kills, or he gets it himself up close and personal as we move in to a sudden death. 2 minutes on the clock for these teams to fight for this hill. The rocket launcher comes into play immediately for Sab, able to put the second one down to 1 shot, and the rest of Gamers First clean it up. StelluR gets down to 1 shot for the Bulldog. Bound breaks right through the mid-map. Bubu Dubu, the final player alive for Gamers First, does that entry damage, and then immediately pushes a perimeter. Big play coming out of Bubu as he slides in towards that hill, not able to play his life any further.
G1 can't get too ahead of themselves, right? You still have to get the kills before you get this hill. Spectre's gonna roar forward. There's a player in. They're getting it. Bound not gonna be able to get those kills, and G1 just barely get this hill away. Phenomenal job at the end of that game.
Gamers First. They fought hard to keep it as close as possible, and in that sudden death, they were just seconds away from taking it, so they just sent multiple into the hill, playing through it, putting down that damage while sliding through that hill, and eventually they found the kills and the hill time they were looking for, and they take the game 3-2. What a game here by G1. And the crazy thing to me is that that felt like the roller coaster of emotions of an entire series. That was just game 1. That was just the first game of this best of 5 series.
Yeah, it just shows you how tough every single game is going to be for these two teams. It was that moment where I thought, damn, this game might be over. The Rocket player not able to get those kills. Bound gets in, but Bound just can't quite get away with his life enough to really make an impact, right? Gets taken down. I think that's Bound trying to do too much, right? We don't see it on screen, but he had an escape route 2 tires where he could have gotten his shields back. Instead, he dropped into laundry, curb slid back in, loses his life, and from there it just becomes a Congo line of essentially players of G1 who can just constantly refill, and the numbers not there for Spacestation Gaming to stop the capture.
Game number 2 is going to be a Slayer. This time we're going to be moving over towards Aquarius, and as much as we praise SSG and their objective efficiency, they're a damn good slaying team as well. SSG looking to tie things up here after a big win out of Gamers First.
Pznguin and bubu dubu taking the back positions, looking to get the cross map shots. That camo going to be important to the success of either of these teams. And it looks like StelluR was a player that tried to get away with it, but Falcated there, ready to take some damage. He's ready to put down some more as he led the charge for his team.
Falcated bringing in the heat wave into play. Multiple members of SSG finding the black screen. A nice little lead starting off for Gamers First. And look at the patience out of Svspector, aware that they're trying to manipulate the spawns, allowing them to spawn up. And now you see Gamers First begin to surround SSG, and the collapse is coming in. They're being attacked from multiple sides here, right off of spawn. It must be frustrating for SSG. They're able to take down 2. Weathering the storm just a bit, trading out their life to put Gamers First 4 down and to alleviate some of the pressure that was coming in.
Putting some heavy damage into Sab, but anyone's going to be there to clean it all up. And what's important is just staying alive, right, in the Slayers. It's not necessarily about the kills that you're going to get, but rather the damage that you put down and the deaths that you don't give. And so far, Spacestation's been really effective at making sure nothing's for free when it comes to taking them down. But right when I say that, Pznguin might get a little bit suspect right there, Tony. Running right out in the middle, thought you could get that that thrust in time, but immediately gets punished. And you see how small plays like that have big impacts in the game, because he goes down and suddenly the numbers are in favor of G1. They continue forward, they get another pick, and now what was an even game, suddenly it's a 2-kill lead and map position in favor of G1.
The same way you can say that SSG are so good at making you pay for your mistakes, Gamers First can do the exact same to them. And with that, SSG falling 3 down as active camouflage is coming up. Not every kill and every life are valued the same, but when active camouflage coming up, you have to stay alive. You have to put down damage. You have to get the kills and play your numbers. And as of right now, we're gonna find out if SSG can do that, which I believe G1 might have been able to steal it. Yeah, you see the pings coming in. They're trying to find that camouflage player.
Yeah, it's a little cheesy when it works, but if you do spam your ping when there's a camo player, you can't ping out a camo and get an idea where that camouflage was. And you can see Eco, he's always a little bit nerdy with it, able to get that ping down. They killed the camouflage player, and now they've gone on a surge enough to tie this game up. Sab hiding underneath. Just Eco look for him. No, they are able to take the lead, but G1 are essentially getting a miniature flank right now. And you can see Sab, he was unaccounted for. He comes back to kill Eco, and it might lead to a little bit of a collapse of Spacestation right here as all these players start to fall.
Here's your LVT tip of the day. If you're going to get the camouflage player, Ping and Disruptor are your best friends. Make sure you get your hands on them. Make sure you find that camo. Don't let them get away. Tied up at 21 apiece. As we switch gears over towards Pznguin, trying to take height over toward the P side, finds himself bubu dubu, but he also finds himself a couple of spawning players of Gamers First. Bound going to continue to apply pressure here over toward the P side. Excellent shots, and Svspector goes in for the early melee, and Svspector going to knock him down a couple pegs.
Man, Svspector looking a little quick with that left, right. One step, 2 steps, strafe. My God. I don't know how you're supposed to hit someone when he's doing that. And well, Sab's not going to be able to hide for much longer. SSG able to find him, but you can see what's important is at the top middle of your screen, right? It's that camouflage that's coming up in just about 10 seconds. Both these teams are going to try to get to high positions. This camo can change just about everything on the map. And to SSG, they might be in trouble. Stuck over at P1, but it might just be a trap. That heat wave from StelluR doing so much damage. And right now, the number is looking in favor of SSG.
Both Pznguin and StelluR hitting the black screen. Eco gonna try to replace them onto the P side, trying to defend his active camouflage. Knows there's a player jumping up towards P. Oh my gosh, thrust right back to try to put him on skates. Active camouflage somehow still up. Falcated, not aware that Eco is literally right behind him. He's gonna give up his P side control here for just a moment. Both teams fighting for it. Sab looks to try to dive in right for camouflage. He's gonna pay right off the rip. Eco now chasing down Falcated, not quite able to get the kill, but how is camouflage still up? There we go. Finally, StelluR diving for it here. His teammate was a shield that blocked the enemy team from looking at that camouflage. StelluR was almost able to get away with it. He goes down, and we're tied up at 35 apiece.
Yeah, Tony, a camouflage that you wait 45 seconds to grab, you'd hope it had a little bit more impact than just a 1-kill trade, but sometimes that's how it just rolls. The camo not playing much of an impact, but StelluR, he's been having an incredible game thus far. 13 kills for him. But it's been Sab who's just been a menace on the side of G1. He's been constantly getting behind Space Station, getting kill after kill, and if they can shut him down, they can get themselves right back into this game and really just start taking the control of this game, because right now I feel like Sav's been just this workhorse that is keeping G1 in this thing.
Yeah, normally it's Bubu Dubu and G1 that are dominant on Aquarius Slayer. In fact, G1 are 3-0 on this map, but despite I love the 9 assists out of him. I think 4 kills, a little bit lackluster on the side of Bubu Dubu. I can imagine if he's able to pull it together just a little bit towards the end game, add a little bit more kills along with the assist, I think they can close this out. You already have a 2-kill lead. You already have Sav, who's going off, winning every single pivotal fight, going after one, even when one shot able to put down max damage onto Eco, but the teamwork from SSG seemingly coming out of nowhere and putting them within 1.
I mean, G1 keeping themselves in this game, and although Bubu only has 4 kills, this is a deceptive 4 kill, right? The 9 assists, I mean, that's a ton of assists,
yeah,
for your team, and I don't want to make sure it's not that he's having a bad game right now. He's just not quite able to get those finishes like Eco is. Oh my, what a double for Eco as he hits his 13th kill. And Bubu Dubu, he has that camouflage, but Bubu Dubu just can't get away. I mean, did you see those shots across the map? They weren't letting Bubu Dubu get away with anything. And Space Station, they're surging at the right moment, starting to find kills at the end game.
Tied up at 46 apiece. Both teams just a squad wipe away from winning it, and Bubu Dubu immediately playing for that thrust. That can be huge for them. Meanwhile, off the screen, Falcated takes down StelluR, and with those numbers, gamers first need to get aggressive. That's their bread and butter. Make it a 4v3, and then push, baby, push, but bound. Seemingly come out of nowhere with that commando. That's a beautiful flank out of him. Svspector takes down one. Sab tries to do the damage and sneak his way out of the utility side. It's gonna work out, but this overwhelming damage coming back from SSG, leaving G1 trapped just a bit, but they only needed 1, and 1 is what they found.
Wow, Sav was able to stay alive. Can we rewind those last 30 seconds? That was insane. Sav was able to stay alive, and we got to see some incredible finish right here. Right, I mean, look at all this pressure that mounts. Space Station starting to get themselves into this utility. They're getting damage, but they're not necessarily getting the kills that they want, right? Falcated is going to be able to get themselves to 48 right here. The nade comes through, and you start to see there's 3 players from Space Station that are at bay, and Sav looking to finish this out, but he's going to take much more damage than he expects, right? So he has to back immediately away, just able to get around this corner. While all that's happening, right, SSG's getting frustrated. They got multiple players down to 1 shot, but they just can't fight, can't get the finishing kill. And then, when it matters all the most, right, Sav left away. He let that lane open. Bound got a little bit too far into it, and Bubu Dubu, who just wasn't able to get those kills, gets the 2 most important ones at the end of the game. They're able to cross the finish line first, and a frustrating moment for SSG to have so many players weak and to be able to get so close to finishing that Slayer and just not able to get the job done. Now 0-2 in the series, and their tournament life on the line as we go into Strongholds on recharge.
What's crazy to me about that play with Sav getting out of that situation alive is because you notice that Falcated was weak over toward the top car side, and he was like peeking and like kind of trying to cover him. But once Sav went absolute, Falcated stopped covering. He said, look, if you die, you have to go down because we can't both go down in that situation. So he kind of, almost like he mentally checked off Sav dying in that situation. The fact that Sav was able to drift around that corner and stay alive is largely the reason why gamers first come out with that big win. Hopefully they can ride that into recharge. Game number 3, possibly the final time we're gonna see Space Station game.
That would be a statement for G1 to come out in 3-0. SSG G1 didn't have quite the performance they wanted at Charlotte. Native White went on their Cinderella run, won a game 5 versus G1 to knock them out in a top 6 finish, and now suddenly they look to be bouncing back incredibly well. A 3-0 finish versus Space Station game, and you couldn't ask for anything better.
Trip cap for gamers first. Falcated able to get away with this camouflage despite being 1 shot, and right up to the tower side he goes. Where SSG spawning? Where do they come back in this? Falcated getting spotted with that camouflage despite just walking it out and taking its time with it. He still got spotted, still got damage done to him, not able to get the kill onto one. Finally finds the kill onto StelluR. Love that denial grenade over toward the bat ledge side. Somehow Falcated playing his life, but Bound continues to aggress forward, and Falcated still trades out.
I love that play from Falcated. That's a man that's already feeling himself, getting loose with it, trying to bait players into certain positions, able to get kill after kill. And Spacestation, although they're not necessarily getting heavily outslayed at the moment, they are just not winning the rotations, right? They're getting traded out in less opportune moments. And then you're seeing G1, they're putting on a little bit of pressure when they need to, right? We're starting to see this push from Spacestation. They need to get towards C. The first kill is going to be a great step towards that, but they need to find bubu dubu. He's laying in wait underneath blue. He was able to take down Pznguin, and now StelluR has a one-on-one that's important for his team. Bubu dubu needs to go down.
And bubu dubu distracting StelluR. StelluR coming in with the sidekick, but it looks like Eco's still able to get away with that active camouflage. So despite the big kill coming in, what's most important is grabbing the active camo. What was important for Sav was burning it immediately. So camo out of play. Gamers first, 112-0-1 run at the moment here. Spacestation Gaming not even on the board here.
Tony, did you just see that? It was a commando, you know, blue matters, but bubu dubu just took Bound down from that position with a pistol, a sidekick at mid-bridge. Oh my God, just fried him. And this is just, G1 just can't seem to lose the important gunfights at the moment, right? It was great that StelluR took down bubu dubu. That prevented another potential trip cap for G1, but it didn't get them out of their current predicament, which is that G1 is just having their way on this map at the moment.
Spacestation Gaming getting outplayed here on Recharge Strongholds, which I would normally think is one of their better game types, but Gamers First outplaying them in every single corner. Gold side now being overrun, Bound getting caught by himself over there. Gamers First can take advantage of that. SSG do find himself over toward the Charlie side of the map. Glad they're able to take C, but what does that mean when the AB setup is still being locked down here by Gamers First? SSG have yet to prove that they can get the slays, get the clear slays, and get an easy cap off. Right now they are struggling at every turn.
Right, it's been the entry frags that have been just escaping them, and look at how many resources they took to getting into A. But the problem is they left the C flank open, and bubu dubu, he took immediate advantage. And although these kills are starting to go in favor of SSG, they still have to be able to finish off everything. Svspector able to kill the player at C just in time, and finally points on board for Spacestation. But it might not just be points on board, it could be a complete flip of this game. We're starting to see Spacestation have G1 right where it hurts, starting to spawn trap them. G1 in a dangerous spot. They need to get a couple important kills to get them out of this position.
And this is not a normal occurrence that you're seeing from SSG. SSG normally 6-1 in Strongholds. They are the better Strongholds team, at least statistically, when it comes to this open series. But as of right now, Gamers First have been dominating them at every single turn. We finally see some life being shown out of Spacestation Gaming at the moment as they play through that double cap and now moving in for the triple. One player does end up going down. Eco has to get this kill onto Falcated. He realizes that the teammate is coming in, and this is not a 1v1, it's a 1v2, so he plays his life. Doubles right back when his team is ready. This is masterfully done by Eco, and because of that, SSG are going to absolutely clear house here over toward the Charlie side, but that is started by Eco playing his life. Wow, I know you like that.
No, that's phenomenal from Eco Smith, and he's doing more. And Eco, I think he's the most underrated player in Halo Infinite. It might be in Halo in the last 7 years. This guy is a main pillar as to why the Splice Dynasty happened, why Cloud9 was able to win back-to-back tournaments. And although G1 was able to have a phenomenal start, don't count Spacestation out, right? They're one of the best Strongholds teams in the game, and especially on Recharge as well. You brought up their history, their record on this map. They are potent when things start going right. And G1, they've had a rocky history on Strongholds, especially on Recharge. They are 0-4 on Recharge Strongholds since the season 2 of HCS has started. And you're starting to see that, well, SSG are starting to put a little cracks in the foundation of the beginning of this game. SSG is starting to make some magic happen. SSG is starting to come back into this game, and they are looking to be dominant right now. Their position, their play has been phenomenal, and this is where it gets scary. It's when this trip cap can come in, when you can start forcing G1 to have to play for a singular hill while you got 3, while Eco has camo and he's getting behind you. This is where things can get out of hand, but it's an important kill, and G1 stabilized from a very dangerous position.
You're starting to see the pros and cons of being a momentum-driven team like Gamers First. Or I mean, when things are going good, they're going great. When it rains, it pours. But once you're able to weather the storm, usually you're able to bounce right back. But the question now becomes, if SSG dig themselves such a large hole they can't climb themselves right back out of, because Gamers First find the kills they were looking for, find the double cap they were looking for. Falcated needs to hit that shot with the shock rifle, not able to connect. Bound wanting to finish off Svspector over toward the gold side. Svspector retreats onto the top, and it looks like SSG are working on Alpha.
Yeah, Bound just playing too fast for his own good right there. Not able to find anyone, and nor did he really have the resources to get the kill, even if he did find someone. And all that momentum, all that play, it all comes down to Eco not being able to find that kill while he was camouflaged. Spacestation looked so well poised to make a comeback happen in that moment. And now the momentum back in G1's favor. They're able to stop B in time. Suddenly, it could be the death of Spacestation. We're looking at their last pushes, the last chance to make this happen.
SSG desperately here over toward the Alpha side. Bound almost done with it, but it looks like a player slides right in and finishes off that kill before he's able to take Alpha. That is devastating for Spacestation Gaming. Eco is able to clean up Svspector over on the A side. Gamers First do find themselves half down. SSG are able to take away Alpha, but can't find Bravo, because once again a last-ditch effort by Gamers First right before SSG steal away a stronghold. They dive in, they clear it out, they get the reset. It's up to StelluR and his active camouflage.
And that's 4 hills in a row where we saw Spacestation get it to about 80-90% completed, and G1 stop it at the last second. We're talking about 20 to 30 seconds of hill time that really G1 do not deserve at the moment, but earned at the very last second. And now with everything stacked against them, Spacestation has to play a perfect game, and G1 are looking to shut this door. It's going to be a tough match, but Eco, he's by himself over at A. The sticky comes in. StelluR knows he has to rotate to C in time, but there's a player waiting for him. Oh my god, it's Pznguin. What is Pznguin doing? Able to stop A. This is getting down to the wire right now, Tony. Spacestation's hopes are riding on these couple fights.
Great kill by StelluR. Looks like the answer back coming in from Gamers First. The Charlie side is going to be controlled by Gamers First, but neither Brava nor Alpha is, so points on the board for SSG. But you gotta think, keep in the back of your mind, the moment that Gamers First are able to get that first pick and create the 4v3, we can expect them to overwhelm either the Bravo or Alpha side. Love this play by Pznguin, hiding over toward the gold stairs. G1 having no idea. Then the collapse comes in from both sides out of Pznguin and StelluR, taking down 2 members of Gamers First, slowing them down once again, and continue to put points here. Just like that, SSG have caught up, but their job isn't done just yet.
Hey, you're G1. You can't assume that SSG is gonna just let things go, right? You can't assume that they're just not gonna watch across. Pznguin was waiting down low. He baited them into top A, and it's an easy double kill. And it's a vital double kill for this team. And well, G1 looking to be 3 down once again as Falcated's in a tough spot. Eco comes down, he gets the kill, and G1, they're losing control of the map. Bound is playing aggressive into top A. It's a camouflage player that's trying to get away. Bound's hunting him down though. Eco gets the next kill, and here we go. 2 go down. Bubu dubu. I mean, talk about making a critical play when it was needed the most. Was able to stay alive with this camo and might have just won the game for his team. It's going to come down to some miracle play. 1 more hill is all G1 needs, and Bubu dubu might have just done what it was needed of his team. Talk about a camo performance when it matters the most. Bound couldn't find him, and Bubu dubu wins the game for G1.
That's gonna be it. SSG go down. SSG go down. G1 make their way into the elimination finals, top 3, taking on one of the best teams in our entire league in SSG. I know this is online gameplay, but this has to be big for the mental, big for the momentum here for Gamers First going into the rest of the season, to go against SSG, to be able to sweep them out of this open tournament and grinding forward here for a chance to win our Open Series 2K.
Yeah, and it's not as if SSG played a bad game. I mean, the beginning, things just weren't going right for them. They're just critical plays where they got traded where they weren't supposed to get traded, or G1 just got behind in a spot where they weren't supposed to get behind, because SSG were getting kills, right? They were keeping up with the Slays, but they weren't able to get control of hills, and it led to 100 unanswered points for G1 right out the gate. But then when SSG are able to get control and they're doing their thing, they're one of the most potent teams out there. And it all goes back to that camo play with Eco. He made the right play. It was all there. It was just a frustrating moment where he wasn't able to get a kill. If he gets that stop at B, SSG don't slow down at all. They keep going forward. They're playing for another trip cap, and I think that game goes in their favor. But it was a beautiful job by G1 to stabilize in a very dangerous position, and they're able to eventually get where they need to be, eventually find those opportunities. When you get yourself a massive lead, right, Tony, you're buying yourself more and more time to make the clutch play, and eventually time comes to that camouflage that pops up. You get one of the best camo players ever to do it, and bubu dubu to grab it, and he eventually stays alive, is able to get into that next hill and really break the back of Space Station's hopes at the last moment.